How's everyone doing? It's Halloween time, and I absolutely love Halloween. It brings me back to my childhood memories of trick-or-treating, haunted houses, costume parties, and of course, scary movies. And I absolutely love scary movies, and especially horror movies in general, but what better time to watch scary movies than around Halloween? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what movie scared me the most, and I want to know what movie scared you the most as well. Leave me a comment down below. Now, the runner-up for the movie that scared me the most was The Exorcist, and I expect this movie is going to be on a lot of people's list, and for good reason. I saw this movie for the first time when I was a little kid, and it completely freaked me out for a long time after that. And that spider walk scene definitely creeped me out. That's just so unnatural. Who does that? The Exorcist is an all-time classic, and it definitely scared the heck out of me when I was younger. Now, the number one movie that scared me the most isn't your typical horror movie that you would expect. It's Fire in the Sky, which is an alien abduction movie, and I saw it for the first time when I was 14, and it freaked me out. I wasn't able to watch it again up until just a couple years ago. It was the first time I was actually brave enough to watch it again. That movie just haunted me for a long time. It's a movie that I will never forget. And Fire in the Sky stars D.B. Sweeney, James Garner, Craig Sheffer, Robert Patrick, Peter Berg. Just a fantastic cast and an incredibly atmospheric and creepy movie. Some of the scenes that really stand out for me in Fire in the Sky were the scenes where D.B. Sweeney's on the alien ship and he's being dragged through the ship and then thrown on the operating table and operated on. And then when you see the aliens, just incredibly creepy. So Fire in the Sky was the number one movie that scared me the most. Now let's hear from some of my friends and see what movies scared them the most.
A horror film that terrified me when I was a kid was Child's Play. Now that's a movie about a doll that comes to life and kills people through the magic of voodoo. To this day, I still won't fuck with a My Buddy, or a Cabbage Patch Kid, or even a regular kid. Actually, I'm more scared of having a kid than them killing me, but it's still, the fear is there, and I think the movie has something to do with it.
And the fourth kind is the scariest film I've seen as of late, That White Owl. That thing gives me the creeps, sitting on windowsills, bringing on aliens and all kinds of terror. How dare that white owl do that to me? Some of the events that are portrayed in the movie are creepy as fuck. That one dude possessed by aliens, the dash cam that catches the UFO, creepy. There's a scene where this dude's jaw completely unhinges. That one wheelchair-bound, elongated-faced, lazy-eyed, needs to wash her skin. Aliens in general just freak me.
The scariest movie ever is The Shining. I mean, The Shining could happen. I mean, cabin fever is a real thing. You know, maybe the hotel won't spew blood at you, but still, it's entirely possible that people can go crazy by being cooped up all winter. And the way Stanley Kubrick shot it, it just looks terrifying. Scariest movie ever. Whew.
The movie that scared me the most as a child that I did see, hands down, The Fly. My brother pinned me on the couch and made me watch The Fly, and he kept repeating, like rewinding and repeating the scene where the guy comes and, like, you know, throws up on the guy's hand, and it like melts off his hand, and then he throws up on the guy's leg and like melts his leg off with that white stuff. I was like traumatized for life after seeing that. Scariest movie now that scared me, hands down, Evil Dead 2013. That movie scared the pants off me. I did not sleep properly for like a week.
The movie that scared me the most would have to be The Ring. I remember seeing it on a dark and stormy day. It was absolutely terrifying. I mean, who wouldn't be scared of a girl with her hair covering her face, white gown and everything, popping out of TVs and wells? I literally ran for the hills every time I saw a staticky TV.
The movie that first scared me would probably be the remake of Night of the Living Dead. I first saw it when I was real little, about 7 years old. It was one of the first horror movies I saw, and it just creeped me out and made me a horror lover for life. Now it would probably be the original Halloween is the scariest movie to me. It's just so creepy, intense, and it's one of my favorites.
What is the scariest movie you've ever seen? And hands down, that is Jaws. The effect that this movie has had on me easily makes it the scariest movie of all time. You know, it scared a whole generation out of the water.
And the movie that scared me the most as a kid was Man's Best Friend from 1993. For the longest time, I was convinced after watching that dogs and cats were cyborgs and that they wanted to eat me.
The scariest movie I'd have to pick for me this year would have to be Antiviral. Just the whole fact that we are so obsessed as a society over celebrities that we are now consuming their diseases is just a sick thought to me.
The horror film that scared me the most and was also my introduction into Japanese horror films is the 2003 classic directed by Takashi Miike, one missed call.
One of the scariest movies I've ever seen is The Fourth Kind. Either you love this movie or it does nothing for you. The backstory is that the police and hypnosis footage is based on real events. It's not. I had no idea, and that element made it extra creepy. For me, aliens, creepy cut footage, and owls will always do me in.
The movie that scares me the most is Pumpkinhead, because it's a giant dinosaur pumpkin seed stick demon man, and it's mean and unforgiving.
Howdy do, Booger Boy Meister here. The scariest movie I think I've ever seen probably have to be The Pack. This movie scared me really bad when I was a kid. I had a fear of dogs. I was attacked by a pack of dogs at my grandmother's house. This movie still scares me to this day.
One movie that scared me the most is It. I don't own the movie, but check it out right there. Look at that creepy clown. But yeah, it doesn't creep me out now, but when I watched it when I was a kid, it gave me nightmares for weeks on end.
I've seen many horror movies, but the one that really scared me the most in my whole entire life has to be Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger himself. The fact that he's a dreamlike figure that could be absolutely anywhere, he can turn into anything, really creeped me out.
This movie is the movie that has scared me the most over the years, and that is The Exorcist. Of course, a combination of atmosphere, music, and just plain storytelling makes this movie still to this day the scariest movie ever made.
Such a weird leap. The movie that's terrified me the most has been The Ring. I mean, Samara is just that creepy ass girl, and oh my god.
The movie that scared me the most was Ringo, the original Ring. It just scared me so much. When I finished the movie, one of my friends called me, so I was fucking pissing my pants right then.
The movie that really still scares me to this very day is 1982's Poltergeist, directed by Tobe Hooper and written and produced by Steven Spielberg. I even have the soundtrack to the film because I love Jerry Goldsmith's score. Every time I hear this, I just get so excited. I've seen this movie a million times and it still scares me.
The one movie that really just screwed with me was Pet Sematary. As soon as Zelda was on screen, like, it was over for me. So Pet Sematary is the film that just scared me the most.
The scariest movie that ever scared me, which I couldn't actually sleep, was Freddy Krueger. And it was the first one. I didn't want to go to sleep. I was fucking petrified. I was just, every noise I would hear that night when I was a kid, when I watched it, I jumped up. That was the most scariest movie I've ever seen.
It has got to be It. I mean, look at that face. Look at it. That is freaky as fuck. I mean, I think I was about 8 when I first saw this, and it absolutely terrified me. I mean, for a very, very long time, I couldn't even think about it without being scared. And then, of course, as I got older, I rented it out and I tried to watch it a whole bunch of times and never made it all the way through. Now I get complete and utter pure enjoyment out of it. But as a child, I had nightmares. It didn't give me a fear of clowns. I've never had one, but it did give me just like a horrible sense of dread when I even thought about this movie.
This movie scared me. The Fourth Kind was absolutely horrifying. It still is. I saw it at midnight, and I probably played a little part of why I was so scared, but when I left the theater, I just looked up at the sky and was like, please do not abduct me. If aliens are anything like this, and they decide to come down here, we're screwed.
Without a doubt, the movie that scared me the most, and still does, The Exorcist. Do I need to say anything else about this movie? Yeah, besides the fact that I saw this for the first time when I was 5 years old, it took me to my early 20s before I'd even add this to my collection. By far, the scariest movie of all time.
Movie that scared me the most, hands down, would have to be Phantasm. I saw it when I was 9 years old, and for 2 weeks I couldn't sleep at night. I had to wait for the sun to come up first. And why? Because of the tall man. Not before then or since has there been anyone creepier than the tall man. So for me, it's Phantasm.
The movie that scared me the most is actually Alien 3. I don't know why, but I saw it when I was younger. It scared me so much, I haven't been able to watch it since.
The movie that scared me the most is definitely The Ring. This movie doesn't scare me anymore, but when I was younger, this movie terrified me. I could not sleep at all for weeks, and I just love the whole atmosphere of this movie. It scared me a lot when I was younger, and that's the scariest movie of all time for me.
The movie that scared me the most over time is Puppet Master. Who in their right mind would play with puppets anyway? But a movie about killer puppets? Oh my god!
As for the movie that scared me as a kid, was 1988's Night of the Demons. That movie put the fear of God into me. I've always felt dirty after watching that movie, like I was gonna go to hell, and that I needed to repent for my sins. Night of the Demons felt so real to me when I was younger. I always felt I was gonna get possessed by the demons as well. The Night of the Demons is what scared me as a kid. So what scared you?
Those were some great scary movie choices, and I want to say thank you to everybody who was a part of this. You all rock. Definitely go check out their channels. I'll put the links down below in order of appearance. Check them out and subscribe. And let me know what movie scared you the most as well. Leave me a comment down below. Hope everyone's doing well, and have a happy Halloween, and go watch some scary movies.